Okay, listen to me. If you are seeing Python in the dream, it's all not a bad dream, but depends on the circumstance that you find yourself. Where it becomes bad is you being connected somehow strongly to that deity and you've not been delivered from it. You've not separated yourself from them. There are things that need to be done that you don't want your life to be connected to that deity, that you want your life to be connected to the living God directly. That is where sacrifice of separation comes in, a burnt offering of separation comes in, that you no longer belong to that family by spirit, but you're connected to them by physical blood. The list that they have for some certain things, they will not find your name in that list. But when they mention your name, you're still, do you understand that? So Python usually represents idol and water spirit connected together. Alosinwenmili, the deity that owns the waters of that place. Like in this your case now, where you came from, that locality is being governed by the spirit that owns the waters of that place, and there is a deity represented. It is being worshipped. That's the God of that community. Am I making sense to you? The more you see them, the more they are telling you that there is a demand on your family. It might not be you that it is looking for or that it is calling for service, but because all other people in your family may not have the eyes of the spirit for vision and prophecy, you're the one who has that gift. So it's coming to show you itself. And because you are an offspring of that locality, you might be connected to the third generation of the people that started worshiping that thing. You might be connected to the fourth. But because of this dispensation and development and vast spreading of humanity and connections, you see that nobody really knows origin anymore. In those days, there are people we call Osu, there are people we call Diala. There are some categories like that. I'm not trying to justify those things because those are the kind of things that need to be abolished from tradition. There don't have to be anything like discrimination between people, humans. We are all the same. But you may not understand it, and probably you are born in Lagos or in Abuja, and they are there with you. They cook the food you eat. They move around with you. They sleep in the same house. They even are the ones that own the businesses, and you are working for them. They are there with you. The spirits are there with you. In as much as you're not in the village, they followed you there. It traces the bloodline. It traces the bloodline. And maybe there was something that was promised to this deity. And if that thing that is promised to this deity, that every 5 or 4 years that this thing will be done for them. Are you listening to me? And the person that knows that covenant, that promise dies, and then pass the information to the next person, or there was nobody available to carry the mantle, or probably the person that they passed the mantle to wasn't strong enough, desecrated the things and all that, or probably even died untimely, or they were cast out because of one or two things that happened. That information will not be passed down to anybody. It will be withheld in the realms of the supernatural. And you see that deity going from one place to another, looking for who to give the information. Some of them are even giving you this information so that you people will do this and do this to let them go, free them, let them go. They don't even want to be with you again in that your family. Let me go. And you're feeling that they are calling you for you to come and start serving them. Get spiritual intelligence. So what needs to be done in this kind of case is to evaporate the spirits. You that is seeing that thing, you need to mastermind that activity of sacrifice of separation. This is not spiritual wife or spiritual husband or whatever. It is the core of the deities, either for you to let them go and you see that they are not hurting you. Sometimes they are there to stand for you to win the battle in the dream and they are drawing you closer. All right? Good. And you see that the moment they win the battle for you, they just disappear. They are protecting you as their own. But that protection, is it of the light or of the dark? There are 6 weapons of God's warfare. There is fire, there is storm, there is stone, there is wind, there is water, and there is serpent. When you talk about the plagues of the Lord, they are also there. There was a time when the story told about Egypt and Israel, and God told Moses to drop his staff and it turned into a serpent. Good. So when you see some certain things, don't be afraid of them. Get to find out where they are connected to. According to the word of the Lord, Moses dropped his rod and it turned into a python. The Egyptians brought out their own, magically dropped it, and it turned into serpents too. And Moses' own swallowed the pythons of the Egyptians. Now, why didn't God strike all the snakes dead? You see that most of these things are of the Lord. Once have God spoken, twice have I heard that all powers belong to God. They are all connected together. I made evil, I made good. I created light, I formed darkness. I, the Lord, did these things. Stop seeing God as a weakling, someone that needs to beg, because you are not in his image. That's why you are doing that. If you understand who God is, you will understand more of the consuming fire part and make use of it. So if you listen deeper into your own spirit, you will look for the dimensions and you will see them and you will understand where you came from. Are you listening to me? So understand where you came from and try to understand if that python is of the light or if it is of the dark. If your own python is of Moses or if your own python is of the Egyptians. It's not just coming and then me telling you one to do. Get an understanding first. Do you want to separate from them and tell them that you're giving your life to the light, that you don't want any shortcut or anything that will stand against or in between your relationship with God? Because most times, if they tell you what is involved to do those things, you might not be able to do it. Definitely, a lot of people in this generation cannot do it. It is not to fight against them or start binding them. You call them for a discussion upon sacrifice through the light with God. Because this thing you're seeing, there's a message they're trying to pass. But you don't want to hear that message or trying to communicate with them. It is your choice, but it's just that you carry your religious mentality even into the dream. You have the capacity to do that. It is well, but when the time comes, you will understand. I'll tell you some other things actually that needs to be done, but I just wanted to use this one to teach people why we continue.